right, if I can try to get your attention, I'd appreciate it if I could get you. I know everybody's excited seeing everybody that you haven't seen in years. I'm kind of working on a limited system here with the sound. Can you hear me over here? Yes? I'll try to speak up, but that's going to require you to be quiet. So, and I know that can be difficult at times.
I can help with that.
Yes, I know. There are enough teachers and coaches here that can certainly help quiet everybody down. So we have a temporary sound system in here today. Very good. Thank you. Wow, this is almost like an uncontrollable class in school. Welcome. I'm Mike Malakoff. I'm a graduate of Somerville High School, a member of the Hall of Fame, and I'd like to welcome everybody to the 32nd Annual Hall of Fame dinner and induction this year. So I think we have pretty close to a full house here this year. I really appreciate the support. While I'm up here, I'm a Somerville graduate. Raise your hand. Who's a Somerville graduate? Look at that. Now, all you people with your hands up, look at the people with their hands down and feel sorry that they didn't get to go to Somerville High School. Because we all know Somerville High School is the best high school in the county, right? Yeah, don't, those people with your hands down, don't frown at me. It's not my fault you didn't go to Somerville. You know, it's interesting. This is the 32nd annual, and I believe, Billy, we're the oldest Hall of Fame continuous in the state of New Jersey. And I know that a lot of schools do call and ask how you do this with this amount of people that we have here and this support. And it's just incredible because I think when this was all started 32 years ago, initially it was like, this will be easy because we've got 90 years of athletes to pick from for a Hall of Fame. So the first year, 2 years, it was easy. But then the thought came, what are we going to do 20 years down the road? We're going to run out of people to pick. Right, Billy? And that was a concern. But as you can see from this room, we didn't have that problem because Somerville has some of the best athletes, not only in the county, but in the state. So it's become an easy job for us to pick. I shouldn't say easy because there are a lot of people that are qualified and they have to narrow it down. So the people that are in the Hall of Fame and the people we're inducting are the best of the best from Somerville High School. And I don't think we're going to ever run out of candidates. Would that be accurate, Billy? No question about it. So this year, we will be inducting 10 individuals from Somerville and 2 teams dating back to 1935 is one of the graduates that is going to be inducted all the way up to 2018, which is only, 7 years ago, which is quite a feat to be inducted that quickly into our Hall of Fame. But I don't think we're going to have a problem running out of athletes. I think we have people representing football. We have a baseball team. We have wrestling. What else do we have? I have to look here. Basketball, soccer, and also fencing is being, we have 2 people being inducted for fencing tonight. And my understanding is, you know, years ago, when you go back 30, 40 years, Somerville had like 8 sports when you go back to the 50s, if that. And I don't know where our administration is, but, oh, there they are. How many sports do we have now? I think it's 26. Would that be accurate? Between men and women's sports. So we certainly have a lot more sports to select from. And but it is interesting, in the 50s, 2 of the sports that we have that aren't a part of it are archery and shooting. that we actually had back in the 50s. So we've replaced those now. But we've also, in the Hall of Fame, along with football and baseball and basketball and fencing, what I call the regular sports, we actually have 2 inductees that were in what I would call outlying sports. And one of them I have to mention is Lori Donaldson. I don't know how many of you remember Lori. Oh, there we go, a couple of hands up. Going back into the 70s. And she's in the Hall of Fame for twirling, which we don't have a twirling team. But the interesting story behind that, if some of you might know this, Lori was a state national champion twirler in high school. She was phenomenal. And some of you, or a lot of you, probably know my father, Bummy, who was the athletic director at the time. Thank you. He was very good friends with Joe Paterno, the coach at Penn State. And Joe, when he recruited players, he would call Bummy, ask him about guys. Have you seen this guy play? Is there somebody? So there was a lot of conversation over the years between the 2 of them. Well, one day my father called Joe Paterno and said, hey, I need a favor. I've got somebody for you. I'm going to need a scholarship. And Joe Paterno goes, well, what position does he play? And my father goes, no, it's for a twirler. and caught Joe Paterno off guard. And what are you talking about? He says, I have this girl. She wants to go to Penn State. She's the best twirler in the country. Can you get her a tryout and a scholarship? And lo and behold, Joe Paterno set up a tryout with the band for twirling. She was so good that the head of the band said, we're going to make you the head twirler for Penn State. And it was the first time that was ever done. And she got a full scholarship for twirling, 4 years. And it's a position that still exists today. It's called the sapphire position. And it started from Lori, and that position gets a full scholarship every year. So if you see the Penn State band, that twirler, that all started from Somerville with Lori. So she definitely is an exception. And another person that had nothing to do with high school sports, unfortunately he's not here tonight, I was going to mention is Joe Sailing. And I'm sure a lot of you know Joe Sailing. And he's in for cycling. And cycling is not a sport in Somerville, but if you know Joe from the bike races, he was instrumental in starting that. He's a national champion. He's in the Hall of Fame. And it's a little difficult for me today because Joe couldn't be here because unfortunately he was hit by a car this past week riding in South Branch. And he's in Robert Wood Johnson. So say your prayers for Joe tonight. He's doing better, but he's got a long recovery ahead of him. And not to digress, but a lot of you ride bikes or have kids with bikes, and you really need to be careful out there. Now, Joe was a phenomenal bike handler and had all the lights and everything. And one of the things is people are distracted driving today with cell phones. So if there's anything I could ask is be careful, put those down when you're driving, because you never know when a bike rider is in the way. So prayers to Joe and wish him the best. And any of you that know him or Dottie, feel free to give Dottie a call. So hopefully Joe will be back next year with us. What? Robert Wood Johnson is where he is in the hospital right now. So sorry to digress on that. I think kudos go to the football team this year that I guess unfortunately they were eliminated in the playoffs, but the football team had a good year. But I hear another team had even a better year, and that's the band. I don't know if anybody, is there any people here that were in the Somerville band? Or there you go. Raise your hand, the people that were in the band. Because the Somerville band apparently won the state championship this year, beat 60 other schools. Is that correct, Billy? Yeah. And I guess they're competing in the Eastern Championships or something like, well, is that correct, that they're competing further? Yes? So, it's not just our sports teams that do fantastic, but even the band. And the band obviously is out there for every football game supporting the team. And then we're also inducting tonight two teams, the wrestling team from 1955, and again, a big spread in years, the baseball team. And is the baseball team here? Wait, is that the best you guys can do? I think there's like 15. Where are the baseball team? Raise your hand. Boy, you guys are pretty quiet. I was expecting a big cheer, and then I was going to ask the wrestling team from 1955 to cheer. There we go. See, wrestling always beats all the other sports. Also, we have in the Hall of Fame, not to get into some of our history, we also have two of our members from the very first induction from 1980, I was going to say 53, that would be a long time ago, from 1983, and I'd like them, where's Richie Russo? Is he hiding? Richie, raise your hand. He was one of our first inductees, and Dave Kinney. Dave, stand up. What did I say?
1993.
What did I say, 83?
83. You got 10 years on it.
Oh, is that it? And also, the other point that Billy asked me to mention, not to promote myself, but that we also have 4 families with father and sons that are both in the Hall of Fame because we've been around for 32 years. One of the fathers, I think, where is he? Joey Petrill, and his 2 sons are in the Hall of Fame. Where are you, Joe? Are any of the kids here, Joey? No. Jay.
They're not married.
I didn't say you were married, Cheryl. I said, are any of the kids here? We're also inducting a son tonight, the Wentzes. Freddie Wentz and his son will be, Freddie has been inducted. His son, Jamie, will be inducted. And then also Frank Parentoni and Jay Parentoni. Jay was in my class, and Frank was in a much earlier class, played for the Giants football, went to Princeton. And I guess last but not least, my father, Bummy, and me are both in the Hall of Fame. So there are 4 families now that are part of the Hall of Fame.
We also have the Wengren.
What's that?
Will Wengren and his son for teams.
Oh, for teams, we have 2,
Wengren.
the Wengrens.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
I know Billy keeps adding every time, he always forgets somebody. So on that note, I've talked about Hall of Fame members. Will all of the current Hall of Fame members that are here, would you please stand and be recognized? Come on, and give them a nice round of applause, all the Hall of Fame members. And all of this, I'm leading up, they asked me to stall a little bit for dinner as they're getting the dinner out here and ready. But all of this wouldn't be possible without the support of the administration of the school. And I know some of the administrators are here. Would you guys stand up and be recognized? And where is Gary? Gary, you going to come up and say a few words? Oh, so now I have to juggle again? So the superintendent is late to his own dinner? Okay. All right, I'll keep trying to stall. So you know what we'll do, Billy? I'll get you up to speak in a few minutes. That'll kill a lot of time. Aside from the administration, we also have a committee that works tirelessly, the Hall of Fame committee, being able to put together these events and to pick and figure out and select people that are going to be inducted. Where is the committee? Would you stand up, members of the committee, please? Come on, give them a nice round of applause. You know, it isn't easy. There are a lot of people that get recommended. Sometimes it's 15, 20, 30 people, and trying to go through and find the records. And one thing I know this from having been a part of the committee, if, you know, a lot of times people say, how come so-and-so is not in the Hall of Fame? They belong in the Hall of Fame. Well, part of that could just be there are so many athletes that we're constantly looking at and people recommending. If you know somebody that isn't in the Hall of Fame that you feel deserves, let Billy Garbarini or one of the members know about that person. And if you have information or records for that person, if you can help and give that to them, they'll be considered. So we always look for everybody to kind of pitch in, and if you know somebody to recommend them. But it is a lot of work and putting this dinner together. And we have a golf tournament in the summer. So if you're interested in golf and you want to play, we've been doing that for, is that 32 years too, Billy?
No, I think it's
23rd this will be.
23rd. Thank you, Libby. So I like to have these fact checkers around me. So installing a little bit while we wait for the superintendent, I'm going to have Billy Garbarini, who's the head of our Hall of Fame committee, to come up and basically give you some ideas as to what we do and how we do it. And Billy Garbarini.
This is my 28th year as president of the organization, so I get the longevity award, I think, from the organization. I have to come up with some new material after 28 years, but the one thing I think I'm proudest of is when you look at the Hall of Fame organization, we started in 1993. And in 2005, you may remember an organization called Team Green. It was founded by 3 or 4 Somerville, Branchburg citizens to try to get a turf field for Somerville. And at that time, you were playing in a mud bowl, usually on Saturdays when it rained. So the organization started to raise money for that activity. In 2006, one of the individuals on the committee said that they were floundering and they were not doing very well and hadn't raised much money. So he said, would 4 of you from the Hall of Fame committee come over and take over the activity? And we did. And 3 years later, we raised over $2 million. And you now have 2 turf fields, Turf Field 1 and 2. And then 5 years later, we raised a couple $100,000 and we made a practice turf field for the football team. And now I mention that because recently Branchburg Somerville has a referendum where they raised $44 million, and you're going to get another turf field now at the Vanderveer School, and plus you're going to get a new gymnasium. But the main thing, you're going to get new academic facilities, new science labs, new safety features. So Somerville is not only probably the only school in the country with 3 turf fields, but you're also gonna have probably the finest auditorium and academic facilities. So I look around, I see such a great crowd tonight. I thank you all for being here. And if we could do anything to help you further the cause, give us a call. Thank you.
As Billy said, the work of the Hall of Fame is endless. And I think it is important to recognize the fact that it isn't just inducting people, but without the Hall of Fame stepping up, we wouldn't have the sports facilities that we do. And as Billy was saying, not only the turf fields, but the new stands, the new scoreboard, new weight room, it goes on and on and on. And we have been able to do that in tandem with the administration to work with us on that, because raising those sums of money and being able to work that through the system, so to speak, is not an easy chore. So on that note, Billy, would you, I don't know, did our superintendent show up yet? 5 minutes away. So Billy, what would you say we do him after dinner? Because all of these people look hungry. And I see some people chewing on napkins and stuff. So would you want to do the invocation? And we'll get everything started for dinner.
I don't have my pastor's license, but please bow your heads. Thank you, dear Lord, for this wonderful banquet and the food that we're about to taste. Thank you for your camaraderie. Thank you for a lovely and wonderful facility. But thank you for such a great group of people, wonderful athletes and administrators. Thank you, dear Lord. Amen. I think we do all the odd tables will be in here. The even tables are in the hallway. So let's start with table 1 and then go right through.
So that wasn't quite clear, if you said the evens this way? Wait, which way? Odd tables stay inside? Okay, so if 1, 3, and 5 can go to the far end for your food, and 2, 4, and 6 like to bring up J.R. Levisco, the superintendent of Somerville School System. How about a nice hand for him?
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. First of all, congratulations to all our inductees tonight. This is an absolutely tremendous event. And being it's only my second year in Somerville, I just have to speak to how wonderful it is to have a tradition like this. To come into a room like this with so many folks that are passionate and excited about their school, about their athletics, and about their children is just wonderful, and it warms your heart. Second, as a lifelong athlete and coach and supporter of athletics, it's just wonderful to see that there is a long-standing tradition and relationship here with the Hall of Fame committee that continues. Not only have I heard the wonderful stories of bringing that special field to the high school, but obviously the continued relationship we have from broadcasting our football games on a regular basis to the conversations we're already having with our new buildings coming in for the referendum. So once again, I'd like to thank the Hall of Fame for obviously having this wonderful event, for celebrating our athletes on a regular basis. I want to thank Billy Garbarini for always extending a welcome to not only myself, but all of my coaches and administrators. I also want to congratulate, like I said, all the inductees, but a special one that I have a connection to from my previous life as a coach, and that's Coach Banos and his special baseball team for their wonderful accomplishments. Last but not least, I just want to say that there's some really wonderful things coming, and it's thanks to a lot of the folks in this room with the referendum passing last year. We not only have another athletic field coming to Somerville, but we have a brand new gymnasium that will be done by 2028 that will house a brand new Hall of Fame for everyone to celebrate and represent the wonderful athletic history of Somerville. So thanks again for having us. Thanks again for celebrating our school and our athletics and our students. And thanks for having us. We really appreciate it.
Thanks so much, JR. We really do enjoy working with the administration and the Hall of Fame. So, without further ado, we'll get our induction started, and the first inductee and the presenter will be Mike Cadonius. Mike, where are you? Come on up, Mike. Mike is going to present Christina Cernuto with her award. So, Mike, come on up and do the honors. It's a mouthful. Yeah, I practiced a while.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. I gotta tell you, it's so wonderful to be back here. I haven't coached since 2017, and there's not a day that goes by that I don't think about it and the wonderful players that I had during that time. In my years from coaching at Somerville from 2006 to 2017, there weren't many players, if any, like the player I'm going to be introducing tonight. Everybody, let's give it up for Christina Cernuto. So Christina was just a rock star. I had heard about her from, I don't know, I think she was in like kindergarten, and they started saying, "You're going to get this player, Christina Cernuto." I mean, left-footed, it was unbelievable, the legend that followed her. But when she came in to Somerville and went through her career, I knew she was destined for the Hall of Fame, like right away, and she showed it right away. It's easy to see. I mean, she accomplished so much. It wasn't normal. Christina's accomplishments on the field really place her among the greats that have ever been at Somerville. She was a 4-year varsity letter winner, a 3-time all-conference player, a 3-time all-area player, and the 2017 team MVP. She scored an incredible 84 goals, shattering the previous school record by 20 goals. And let's hear it up for that. We need to put that in perspective a little bit. She never, just so you know, scored an inconsequential goal. Maybe one, we were going through it. But she scored like 2 goals a game, 3, and she came out. She didn't ever have like 6 or 7 goals. As a freshman, Christina scored 7 goals and had 3 assists. It was my fault that I didn't call her up to varsity until halfway through the season, because she probably would have had more. As a sophomore, she scored 19 goals and had 11 assists. And something to note about Christina is that she was not a selfish player. I actually had to push her to do more on her own. She always wanted to bring everybody in. 11 assists in her sophomore year. And what was surprising that year, she helped us on a run in the state and county tournaments to the county semifinals and the state semifinals. That just was so unexpected, and she just kind of helped lead that charge. In her junior year, she had another 18 goals and 13 assists. But I remember in our post-conference, she was like, "Coach, I didn't do enough this year. What had happened? We needed to do more." And we talked about what she could do in November, the year before her senior season, and she did it all and more. In her senior season, she exploded for 40 goals and 9 assists in just 19 games, breaking the single season record of 32 goals by 8 goals. Just crushed it. And again, she never had more than like 3 goals in a game. It was like 3 goals and out, 2 goals. It was consistent, game in and game out. And people were keying on her. Even more impressive than her individual statistics was the impact Christina had on her team. From 2014 to 2017, now I know she graduated in 2018, but in 2017, she had a foot in 125 of 250 goals. Just wrap your head around that. We scored 250 goals and her foot was on half of them. That's wild. That's wild. During her 4 years, the program won 59 games and only lost 11 and tied 5. Each season, Somerville was ranked for multiple weeks in the top 20 while she was there. We even were in the top 10 for a number of weeks. The team reached the Group 3 sectional championship or semifinal in 3 of her 4 years. Every year, consistency in and out. And Christina was leading the charge with those 2 goals a game. It's hard to find an important win or milestone during those years that Christina did not have a foot in. One of my favorite memories, and I think this might be one of Christina's too, came in 2017. She scored the game-winning goal against Middletown North in extra time to send that game to end it in golden goal. It was an incredible game. We had played Middletown North like 3 of 4 years in the state tournament. They were monsters. And they came in with 1 goal, shut down Christina Cernuto, and they tried. It was like a back alley brawl. They were on top of us, hitting us left and right and left. And they hit the crossbar. We fought back and forth, but they were up 1-0 right towards the end of the half. And we got a free kick about 20, 22 yards out from the right. And Christina stepped up and buried it. 1-1 going into half, and we really fought to keep that, to get there to 1-1. Going into the second half, it was a brawl. Christina just fought tooth and nail every second of the way, never gave up. We got into overtime, and one of our players picks off a pass on the right side and makes a run down the flank, something we'd been working on in training, getting that ball down the flank and crossing it over. And Christina makes this beautiful run into the middle and buries it in extra time. Game over. And it was just classic. It was classic Christina Cernuto. It's hard to find an important goal. Like I said, we can pull out many more situations like that where she led the team. It was a perfect example of her leadership, determination, and composure under pressure. She never wilted. Christina Cernuto gave her all to Somerville Girls Soccer from 2014 to 2017, leaving behind records, memories, and a standard of excellence that continues to today. Thank you, Christina. I won't ever forget those moments, and congratulations on your well-deserved induction into the Somerville High School Athletic Hall of Fame. Let's give it up for Christina Cernuto. Does she come up now? One sec. She actually broke my ribs doing that. And not today, but let's do this real quick.
What are we doing?
Thank you. There you go. You can hold that up there. And you can keep the speech. Here, it is yours.
Hey, everyone. Thank you for that beautiful speech, Coach K. He's the best. One of my few coaches that have genuinely cared about teaching and coaching at the same time. Really the best. It's truly an honor to be standing here tonight, being recognized by a place that shaped so much of who I am today. Somerville High School wasn't just where I went to class and played sports. It was where I learned discipline, teamwork, and what it really means to give your all for something bigger than yourself. When I think back to my days on the soccer field and the basketball court, I remember a lot more than the wins and the highlights. I remember the early morning practices, preseason, love it. The long bus rides, the tough losses that made us stronger, and the moments when everything just clicked, when hard work turned into success. Those experiences taught me lessons that have stuck with me far beyond high school. Soccer taught me focus, patience, and how to read people, how to anticipate, react, and stay calm under pressure. Basketball taught me communication, leadership, and resilience, how to lift others up when things got tough. Together, those sports built a foundation of discipline and determination that prepared me for the path I chose next, which is law enforcement. Being a police officer requires a lot of the same traits that were built right here: teamwork, integrity, accountability, and the ability to keep pushing forward no matter how hard the days get. On the field, you learn to trust the person next to you. You learn that your effort, your attitude, and your choices impact everyone around you. The same lesson carries over to being a police officer. Knowing what I do matters, not just for me, but for the people I serve and protect. I owe a huge thank you to my coaches, Coach Mel Sergo, who's my basketball coach, but Coach K, the most important, who's here right now, who truly cared, who pushed me to be better every day, not just an athlete, but as a person. To my teammates, thank you for every laugh, every challenge, and every memory. To my family, thank you for your endless support, the rides to practice, the cheering from the sidelines, and the belief in me when I doubted myself. Somerville will always hold a special place in my heart because it's where I found my purpose. The lessons I learned here continue to guide me in my career and in my life, to lead with respect, to work with heart, and to never stop striving to be better. Thank you again to Somerville High School and everyone who's been a part of this journey. Congratulations to everybody else. This honor means more than anything. Thank you.
Great job, Christina. Just a note, any of the inductees that want to come up here and jump and bump me, don't do it. So it's only allowed for the younger coaches and inductees to do that. So I just want to make sure you understand that rule. So we get brittle as we get older. Our next inductee, Wade Hall, is here tonight, and his sister is, as I understand, is going to present him. So Denise, are you somewhere? Oh, there you are, right there behind me. Denise, microphone is yours. You're welcome.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Wade's big sister, Denise. I am honored and happy to introduce my little big brother, Wade Hall, for the induction into the Somerville High School Hall of Fame for his contribution to the school's basketball team's history. It's funny, I was in the middle of collecting information last year and talking to Doug Buchanan because I was like, it's time for my little brother to be in there. And Doug said, don't worry about it. He called me, said, don't worry about it. It's done. Wade went through first round unanimous. So I know Doug really loves you for what he did, and Eric also. So to work with us, to get him here, I'm really happy. Thank you, Doug. Wade, I am proud of your accomplishments on the basketball court, but please know you are an awesome husband to DeAndrea, loving father to Skylar and Jaden, best little big brother to me, Loretta, and Susan, plus reliable and caring uncle to your nieces, nephews, great-nieces, and great-nephews. I know your biggest cheerleader is cheering right now tonight, yelling, "Go Pluck!" Mommy would yell those words every time you ran with a football during Pop Warner days, and especially during your basketball games. I just want to give you some of his stats. I knew my brother was good, but I'm like, wow. He got 3 varsity letters through 85 through 87. 88 through 88, his senior year. First team all conference, first team all county, first team all area, first team all state group 3. He averaged 24.6 points, a school record. Another school record, 640 points. Then he scored 20 points, 14 games, 30 points during 4 games, scored 40 points during 2 games. But his best accomplishment in one game, in one night, he scored 1,000 points and broke Billy Garland's record for 47 points in a game. And that's one record my mother always said he would break, and he did. During 86 and 87, his junior year, first team all conference, second team all county, and third team all area. And during his sophomore year, he also got a varsity letter. Only reason why he didn't get none his freshman year, he did play football for 1 year. And then he just really went to his level of basketball. Some may say this is a long overdue, but I say it's in God's time. Wade, come on up. Receive this wonderful acknowledgement from the Somerville High School Hall of Fame. Congratulations, my little big brother. I'll stay here with you. He's a waterhead.
I really don't want to read this, but I'm coming from my heart. Sorry, Scarlett, but I love you for writing this. But I want to say thank you to Somerville High School, the coaches, her teammates, and Bo Proctor. I miss you, man. Rest in peace. Man. and to all the good players that I looked up to, Gary Hayes, Kenny Hayes, Thaddeus Milligan, Stan Jeffries. You know, them the guys that taught me when I was younger on the blacktop at Park Avenue. A lot of people know about that. And I just want to say, I miss my mother right now, guys. I wish she was here. And she was my backbone. Anything I did in sports, especially my basketball. And I love you, Mom. I know you're looking down on me. And I want to say thank you to my uncles and my aunts, especially the one in the corner, Rodney Dorsey. He's in the Hall of Fame too with the Somerville football team. And he's like a big brother to me, guys. He's like a big brother to me. He's my uncle, but I always thought he was like a big brother to me. And this is amazing. When you put that Somerville jersey on when I was a freshman, and I made that team, and I went home and told my mother, she's like, I know you can do it. And it made me so proud of myself just to put the Ville on my chest and play basketball for Somerville. And my goal is to win at Somerville High School and try to get a championship. We fell short, but that's okay, but we have fun. I just want to say thank you to Somerville Hall of Fame for inducting me. I love you guys.
Thank you. Thank you, Denise. I'm not sure about Little, though. Was he ever little?
Yeah, we used to beat him up.
It always happens when it's the older sibling, even though in later years he went way past getting beat up. Our next inductee is Jake Hotz and Bill Hotz. Where are you to do the honors? Right. Oh, there he is. Okay.
Thank you very much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to welcome everyone to the 2025 induction ceremony, the Somerville High School Athletic Hall of Fame. It's my privilege and honor to introduce my brother, Jack. Jack and I grew up in a small apartment on West Spring Street. Our father passed away when we were very young, and our mother was the most influential and guiding force in our life. She believed in both of us, and even thought that Jack could sing. She, at Christmas time, when Jack was young, she would play the piano, and Jack would sing Silent Night. To be honest with you, I never understood it, but my mother loved it. Jack won a lot of awards. He was all Mid-State Conference, all county, and a very important award was the Mayor's Trophy on Thanksgiving at Mountain Brook. That was really an honorable award to get. Jack and I, we lived in a small apartment, and we competed at everything. We even had a water drinking contest. Not a good idea. One day, my mother had enough of us bickering about who was faster. So she lined us up down at the end of Spring Street. She yelled, "Go," and we were off. And Jack beat me. I couldn't believe it. I always beat Jack at everything. From that day forward, I never underestimated him, and he never disappointed. Jack became a great athlete at Somerville High School and at Rutgers University. I'm so proud of him, and I know our mom is looking down equally proud. It's my honor to introduce 2025 High School Athletic Hall of Fame inductee, Jack Hotz.
So first of all, I'd like to thank Bill for the introduction. Thank you for doing my stats. I thought I was going to have to be up here just telling you how great I was. So luckily you didn't have to do that. I want to thank the Hall of Fame committee for this incredible recognition. It's truly humbling, and I really, really appreciate it. Also want to thank my family, my brother Bill, Eileen, my lovely wife Laura, my daughter Taylor, her husband Dan, my sons David, Mitchell, Mitchell's girlfriend Claire, my best friend Doug Kaufman, and his wife Kathy. It's quite an honor for you guys to travel in and share this with me. I had the opportunity to play 3 sports in high school, and it was very valuable. I played football, I wrestled, and I ran track and field. But it didn't start there. It started with the honor of growing up in this great community of Somerville. Somerville offered so much to all of us as we were growing up. The importance of Somerville, sports was very important to me. They offered all sorts of different opportunities for me to shine. I would like to also highlight the people that really believed in me. From the coaches of Pop Warner football, the coaches of Little League, to my middle school football and wrestling coach, Mr. Malitsky, right? My freshman coach, Mr. Dembski, my wrestling coach, Coach Kinney, thank you, Coach Fleming, and especially to my football coach, Coach Jerry Moore. Yes. With Campbell Platt and Coach Joey Petrill, what an honor. Coach Moore called me on Friday. He was sorry that he couldn't come, but it was such a, as my mom would say, kind of common theme here, he's still full of piss and vinegar. So just really a great conversation. But most of all, the person that really brought me to where I was, and Bill touched upon it, was my mom. As Bill said, my dad passed away when I was 8, okay? And she was put in a position where she had to raise both Bill and I, all by herself. With all that going on, she had to get the practices, get us practices, juggling games and school and all different items that she had to do. And what I witnessed in a span of just 10 years from my mom that was so impressive and really had a lasting effect on me, I want to share with you what she did in 10 years when my dad passed away. She had to find a job. She was my lunch lady in elementary school. She had to finish her high school degree. She then went on to Vo-Tech and got her secretarial degree. She became a secretary at the Consumer Affairs in Somerset County. One year, Little League didn't have enough coaches, and my mom volunteered to be a coach for my Little League team. And the men there told her that women didn't coach Little League boys. Well, guess who was my coach? My mom. Okay? After that, she got promoted to be director of Consumer Affairs. She then ran and got elected to the School Board of Education. And when I graduated, she was on the podium to hand me my diploma, my high school diploma. That was just 10 years. That's a lifetime for most other people. She had one mantra: do your best. That was it. If I failed at something, she would ask, did you do your best? And if you did, I can't hold anything against you. And if for opportunities that were coming up, she would state, do your best. And I don't know if I knew it at the time, but really, it wasn't so much a statement as a challenge, right? A challenge to do your best.
Well, Mom, with this recognition, I've listened to you. I did my best. Thank you very much for this honor. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Seems with, Jack, from what you said about your mother, that seems like her best accomplishment was raising two great guys that have been an honor to have at Somerville and in our community. So congratulations. Our next recipient, so it's getting late, and I haven't had a drink yet, is Paul Kirchner, and Rodney Van Ness is going to present him. Where are you? Oh, there you are, Rodney. Come on up. You got your glasses?
I got my glasses, absolutely. It's the first time in public with these. I wrote a little something here, but I'm probably going to go off script, so bear with me, folks. Good evening. It's a real honor to be here to celebrate with you guys again here at the Somerville High School Hall of Fame. Paulie Kirchner, now officially joining the Hall of Fame here at Somerville. Paulie was one of those athletes that he gave his all every single day. His time here at Somerville, he piled up over 100 wins, qualified for the New Jersey State Tournament twice, and he capped off his high school career by finishing 8th in the state his senior year. He was grit, all heart, and always the kind of teammate and competitor that made those around him better. In the past year, I've come up and presented to some of Paulie's close circle. And tonight, it's not going to be any different. They were unsuspecting when they came in and got their Hall of Fame ceremony. And they were also presented with what I'm going to give as a badge of honor. Paul is going to get tonight his spirit animal, okay? So Paulie, the honey badger of Kirchner is born tonight. Why is Paulie the honey badger? Paulie wasn't fazed by any opponent ever. Like the honey badger, Paulie just didn't care. For any opponent, he was ready for any challenge at any time. Except for the scale. The scale was one of those opponents that Paulie didn't really do well with, right? So I remember one time in particular, I believe it was at Del Val, and they iced us, right? The gym is cold, Paul's got a few pounds to cut, and we needed to go outside to get his sweat started. Now, for full effect, it was snowing. It was probably 3, 4, 5 feet of snow. I'll let Paulie give you the details. I don't remember. But we're outside, and we're running behind the school, and I'm trying to push him. I'm wearing slacks and a tie and a jacket, and I'm out there running with Paul, and he's like, why am I doing this? You know, he's got the weight cut attitude. I don't want to do this. It's not worth it. I convinced him that it's worth it. I convinced him that he owed it to himself to get back in there. Not to do it for his teammates, not to do it for his friends and his family and his parents that are sitting there waiting for him, but to do it for himself. Paul decided to do it. He went in, he won that match. I'm sure when I reassured him that it was worth it, it was in the kindest of ways too. I didn't kick him or push him or, no, none of that happened. Right, Paul? Absolutely. So he got in, he got it done, he made his weight, and he won just like he always does. Paul would get onto the mat, and he would have these wild flurries on his feet. He was very creative, but once Paul got the takedown, that's when I was able to calm down and settle in the corner. Paul would get on top, and he would hit his patented tight waist, far side half, roll the guy through, tilt him, and he'd be riding guys all day long. Once he got on top, I knew he was in control. There was nothing to worry about anymore. Back points after back points, he's lighting up the scoreboard, tech fall after tech fall. I knew we were in good shape. So after high school, Paul continued his career at Rider University, wrestling D1. He finished third in the EWL League. He was in and out of the lineup in college due to injuries, right? But he proved, that Somerville wrestlers can go toe-to-toe with the best people in the country. After college, Paul continued to struggle a little bit with multiple surgeries on an ankle. But once he was healthy and able to get involved again, Paul got back involved with the program. He jumped back in. He came over to the shop. He started working out with Shane and the next generation of local champions. And he still gives back today. As we know here at Somerville, it takes a village. No athlete gets it done alone. Paul's journey wouldn't have been possible without the incredible love and support from his parents and family. Right here at table 13, he's got his little village with him tonight. And how did it happen? Like this. It was early mornings, early morning practices, late night tournaments, building a wrestling room in the basement, constant battles with siblings in the house to sharpen everything up. It was those kind of things that pushed him. I lost my spot. Trying to read and look up at the same time. I'm not doing a good job. Bear with me. The parents, they were in the stands. Or they were just there at home, encouraging him to chase his goals and not overeat. Right? Okay. Their belief in him never wavered, and they had set up a steady foundation that made Paulie become the man that he is today and the competitor that he is today. These days, Paulie's living in Philadelphia. He's working in the graphic art design industry, where he has the same creative energy as he had when he was wrestling on his feet in high school. He's still representing Somerville very well, just in a different arena. I've had the pleasure of working with him professionally. He did a couple projects for me where he designed some uniforms for my club business, and he created some T-shirts for my son. This is my shameless plug. Come see me after the event to buy the T-shirts that I got for my son. So when he wins the NCAAs this year, we can all be wearing them, all right? We'll wear them at the parade when we come back to Somerville, whatever. Somerville has a rich tradition of athletic excellence, not just in wrestling, but across all sports, as you can see, evidenced by tonight. So athletes like Paulie are the reason why this tradition means so much. And I want to take a moment to recognize the other Hall of Fame inductees being honored tonight. Congratulations to each of you for your achievements and to your families. And of course, big thank you to the Hall of Fame committee and everyone that helps put this thing together. And finally, Paulie, congratulations on a well-deserved honor. You've made it. We're proud of you here at Somerville, not only for what you've accomplished on the mat, but for who you are off the mat as well. Welcome to the Somerville High School Athletic Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Mr. Paul Kirschner.
All right, mine's going to be much shorter than everyone else's. I'm going to read off my phone, so. All right. Good evening. I'm truly honored to be here tonight. Thank you to the committee for welcoming me and all of us into the Somerville Hall of Fame. Wrestling has always been a huge role in my life. It fundamentally shaped my life, and it also gave me a career as an art director for a wrestling brand right now. But most importantly, it built a community and gave me some of my best friends that it's like a built-in family. And honestly, I kind of owe everything, I guess we're talking about wrestling here, but to the few people that are here in the room with me. I guess starting with my dad, who videotaped every single match and just gave me ultimate support. He really didn't know anything about wrestling. But he allowed me to do my thing and just only words of encouragement, which is something that like really made all the difference. And I think a lot of parents overlook that. Just like kind of let your kids do their thing, and if they want to do it, they'll do it. And then my mom, who always had too many snacks, every snack after weigh-ins. But it was always appreciated, and like her love was really shown, and I think everyone else felt it that was in the room. And then also to my girlfriend, who we've been together since freshman year of high school, so she's seen it all throughout the whole course of everything. And then my brother, who kind of really paved the way for me, and in 8th grade he asked me like, hey, do you really want to wrestle? And I didn't really know what that meant, but I just committed and kind of never looked back from there. And then my sister, who honestly probably knows just as much about wrestling as anyone that I know, because she never wrestled. But she was also my stat in college, and she would always get the seat on like long bus rides. She would grab the seat next to me so I could put my feet up and like lay down. So I'm always grateful for that, because that really means a lot. And then my Uncle Dennis, who's probably been to every single match, anything that I've ever really accomplished in wrestling, he's been there for me. And then to my 3 best friends and brother-in-law, Micah, Nestor, and Danny, they kind of took me in freshman year, and Micah was 2 years older than me, Danny and Nestor were 3 years older than me. And they kind of just showed me the ropes and really like shaped me as like a young man to kind of grow into the role of being a good wrestler and like a good human. And also who are all in the Hall of Fame. So that's also pretty good role models to look up to. And then to my coaches, the Suffin family, who've kind of the foundation of Somerville wrestling, definitely was a huge role in my life. And then especially, and then all my other coaches, Coach McGinnis and Coach Weiland. And then especially Rod, you definitely went above and beyond, teaching me the intensity it takes to be great. And it's so funny that you mentioned that story. Just because I remember freshman year trying to make 103, we were constantly running in parking lots. And that tournament, or that match, I did make weight. But the other ones, I definitely didn't make weight. Yeah, it was just kind of something that, like, I think that we both kind of were like, I don't know. But his words of encouragement kind of made me feel like, oh, I can actually do this. But yeah, those moments really taught me toughness, and you were always right there. So, yeah, and I'll forever cherish wrestling at Somerville High School, and thank you to this incredible honor, and congratulations to all the inductees.
I don't think you'd make 103. Those days are long gone, right, Paul? 103? And Rodney, that plug on the T-shirts, the Hall of Fame gets a percentage of anything on those T-shirts that you're hawking. In case you don't know, Rodney's son is the ranked number 1 in the country in wrestling at Penn State. And but I don't know if you should clap, because Rodney, did he go to Somerville High School? Yeah.
I went to Somerville High School.
Yeah. That's another long story. But congratulations, Paul and Rodney. Good luck with the season with your son at Penn State, and we'll be looking forward to watching those matches on TV. Our next inductee, I will say, I shouldn't say the oldest, but going back, he graduated in 1935, is Anthony Kaczynski. Obviously, Anthony is not here, but Billy Garbarini will do the honors of presentation, and Anthony's son, Dennis, is here. Billy?
You may wonder why I'm doing the presentation. Anthony's 108 tonight, and we looked at the committee, and I'm the 3rd oldest in the committee. Pete Vitelli doesn't walk too well, so he didn't want to come up here. Dave Kinney's 11 days older than me, and he's already got a job presenting, so I'm going to present Anthony. And one thing about Anthony, it proves that this works. 1935. A friend of the Kosenskis attended one of these dinners in the mid-2000s, and he sent a letter to the committee saying, I love the event, but you guys ought to really look at the background of Anthony Kosensky. And he gave me a number to call, and I called, and I got all of the relevant data about him, and he clearly deserved to be in the hall, so he was elected this year. One thing about him, if you read his bio, he was the quarterback on the football team, won the Bound Brook game. He was a wrestler. He was a catcher on the baseball team. And those are all leadership roles, the key roles in every sport that he played. And the write-up will tell you that he was walking past the track field one day, and these guys were throwing a javelin, and he asked the coach if he could throw it. He threw it further than anybody on the team, so he was asked to be on the team. And then he ended up winning the state javelin championship. So, I mean, this is a very interesting man. He came, I think, Dennis, from a family of 11 or 13 kids. I think he lived in Manville. And he grew up in Somerville, but somehow ended up in the sticks in Manville. But the interesting thing about this fellow, he had a tryout with the New York Giants baseball team, but he didn't get signed because he wore glasses, and he was a catcher, and that was a no-no in that day. And then he was asked to try out for the Olympics in 36 for the tryouts, but he didn't have the money to take the bus to New York for the tryouts. And this is an amazing young man. It gives me great pleasure to present his young son, Dennis, and you can see how old he is now.
They couldn't have said any better. On behalf of the Kosenskis, we thank you.
Dennis, thank you for those kind words and that very succinct speech. And congratulations to you and your family.
Bill told me to keep it short.
Bill, and you're the only one that's listened. Rodney, don't hit me afterwards. I'm just teasing. Our next honoree is not here, is Mike Motz, who passed away. But Jennifer Hergert, are you here to do the presentation and say a few words about Mike and his accomplishments? Mike is also one of our fencers. Oh, okay. Hi. Thanks.
All right. So I think I am going to stay in the 3-minute limit that we were told about. So anyway, so I'm going to read this over for I'll explain why. So, good evening, everyone. My name is Jennifer Hergert, and I am here on behalf of Barbara Perez, Michael Motz's wife, and my husband, Earl Hergert, longtime friend of Mike. Both were unable to be here, so I have gladly stepped in to honor Mike. This is a speech that Earl wrote for me to read. I'm here tonight to honor my best friend, Mike Motz, as he is inducted into Somerville High School Hall of Fame. He's been honored for an incredible athletic achievement, being the New Jersey State Sabre champion. But for those of us who knew him and loved him, he was a champion in so many other ways. Our friendship started back in 4th grade. I walked into the classroom during lunch, and there he was, just tearing around the room like a madman. He had this boundless kinetic energy, and we became fast friends. That energy defined our childhood. We spent our summers playing Dungeons and Dragons, and when the game inside was over, we took the adventure outside. We had a whole crew of neighborhood kids, and we'd be out in the woods with these well-crafted wooden swords and shields, having these epic battles. So when we got to high school and discovered Somerville had a fencing team, it was a no-brainer. A bunch of us, fresh from the woods, signed up immediately. Mike was a great athlete. Like me, he played organized football and baseball, but he learned to take all that raw athletic ability, all that energy I saw in 4th grade, and channel it. He focused it into fencing. We took lessons together at the Bucks County Academy of Fencing, and you could see him transforming. But skill and athleticism aren't enough to be the best. Fencing has been referred to as the physical form of the chess game. You have to be smart and agile, and you have to have a relentless drive to win. Mike had all of it. I will never forget the 1985 State Sabre Championships. Mike was in the finals, facing his arch rival, John Toomer of Essex Catholic. It was one of the most exciting bouts I've ever watched. It was back and forth, touch for touch, neither one giving an inch. And in the end, Mike prevailed. He was the state champion. That bond carried on at Rutgers, where Mike and I were roommates and both on the fencing team there. In a perfect twist, so was his old rival, John Toomer, and my future wife, Jennifer. That's me. So, more than an athlete, I remember the person. Mike was athletic, he was smart, but most of all, he was extremely funny. He would have all of us laughing until our sides split, until we literally couldn't breathe. After graduating Rutgers, he later took this talent and performed in comedy clubs in the city. We actually got a chance to watch Mike perform, and his act included the stories of our growing up and being on Art Blummert's fencing team. And of course, Mike can make you laugh about the trials and tribulations of Somerville High School and fencing. Later on, he met his fellow comedian, Barbara Perez, and the relationship blossomed with love. Together, they took a chance and traveled the U.S. for over 3 years, performing across 43 states on what was called Project Highway. Barbara had said that what started as a wild idea to drive from town to town and perform for anyone who would have them became one of the most fulfilling experiences of their lives. It was not always glamorous, but it was real and raw, and it was a testament to Mike's spirit. Mike loved the people he met along the way, the small towns, the dive bars, and the quirky places that most people would have overlooked. For Mike, the journey was always more important than the destination. I am glad that Mike found his wife, Barbara, to share his life with for 15 years. I'm sure their home was filled with laughter in Nebraska. Mike passed away this year. Earl and I miss him terribly, even though we had lost touch over the years. He would have been so proud of this honor tonight. He would have been beaming, and then he absolutely would have made a hilarious joke about the whole thing. Thank you, Mike, for everything, and thank you to the Hall of Fame committee for inducting him. He truly deserves this. Thank you.
Can you hang around there a little bit? Thank you, Jennifer. As she noted, you did a great job in the presentation, and our next inductee is Chris Posberg, who also happens to be a fencer and isn't here. And I think Billy said to me about getting here from Montgomery. And I said, why is that so tough to get here from Montgomery? I mean, it's only down the road. And then he clarified, because I didn't hear him, he couldn't get here from Montana. So because of the travel problems. So he isn't here to accept the award, so we're going to do that for him. And all of his stats and information are in the program, but also another all-state fencer. And it's interesting because, again, we have such a variety of sports here, and most of the time you're hearing about football and basketball and wrestling and Rodney and the Sutphins and all these people that year in and year out are here all the time. But fencing is something that we don't hear a lot about, and unfortunately, Jennifer gave away one of my trivia questions, because there was one person here at Somerville that kept fencing alive, and that was the coach, Art Bloomert. How many remember Art? And a longtime teacher here, and that was his first love, was fencing. And without him, I don't know if that sport would have thrived here in Somerville. But I asked Jennifer to talk a little bit about fencing and its existence here in the state. So would you mind telling some of the statistics we talked about, the size of fencing? And then also the one trivia question that I had asked Jennifer that she didn't know. In fencing, everybody wears white. If you've ever seen fencing, it's all white. Does anybody know why they all wear white? You would think in a sport, especially with schools, they'd have school colors or different uniforms or something, but they're all white. Does anybody know why? Trivia question. How they see the blood? That's very good. That's not far from the truth, but anybody? Do you want to explain why they wear all white?
So yeah, in fencing back when it first started, in order to know if you got hit, you would get ink put onto your uniforms. So fortunately these days we do use all electric. So our judges are still not very good. There's still some, inconsistencies, but at least it's a little bit easier, and you don't have to worry about trying to clean your uniform when you're all done.
So yeah, they would put cotton with ink on it on the tips of the swords, and touching, they would see the ink spot. So that tradition has carried today. But how many schools have fencing in New Jersey now? I think you said.
In New Jersey, we have roughly 65 high schools in the state, as compared to New York. The entire state maybe has 12. So New Jersey really is a big area for fencing, and a lot of students come out and get recruited out of New Jersey because of it. So it's a good sport.
And Jennifer, you're actively involved in the sport. So if anybody wants to know anything, or if there's younger people here that want to join and get involved, you're the person to see.
Yes, I am a member of the New Jersey division of USA Fencing. So if you're interested, I can get you some information. We do have many, many clubs around the area, so that you can participate and join. I'm also assistant coach at Lafayette College, so I'm actively recruiting for students. So if anybody wants to go to Lafayette, come and see me if you fence.
I graduated from Lafayette.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, but a few years ago, and I'm not fencing. Okay. So, Jennifer, thank you so much for coming up. And yes, one last interesting thing about fencing, it is one of only 5 sports that has been in every Olympics since the modern Olympics started in 1896. So as you can imagine, fencing grew out of swords and before there were actual guns and stuff. So it dates back quite a long ways. But congratulations, though, to both Mike and to Chris for their induction and being fencers. We're going to switch gears, and our next inductee is Bo Proctor, and Rich Williams is going to do the presentation. Rich, you want to come up?
Okay, I'm just going to give Herman and he would kick my ass if he know that I call him Herman. But his son and his brother are going to do the bulk of the presentation, so you guys can come on up. It might take them a minute. So, for those of you that do know or don't know Bo, he's probably the most competitive individual next to Zoran Milic, who's sitting somewhere out there, that I've ever played with in my life. And he was a great teammate, a great friend. I could go on and on stories, probably not a lot of them PG, but we'll leave it at that. So, and here's his son, Juwan.
Hello. I just want to say thank you to the committee for inducting my dad today. Hold on. So, I'll say this. My dad, he did not want me to go to Somerville because he said that his name was a little big for me to go there. And I mean, honestly, when you're a 6'8", 300-plus pound man who was just a freak athlete, I'll give him that. He was a two-time all-county football player, all-state, all-area, part of 2 state championship teams, baseball in his lone year, was a first-team all-county player and conference player while winning the Mid-State Conference, 2 varsity legends in basketball, 3 in track and field, and also as a coach won 2 state titles. So he wasn't lying when he said that. But if anyone knows my dad, and got passed down to me and my brothers, was our competitiveness. So it didn't matter where I went, they would always say, "Oh, is that Bo's son?" Obviously, I look like him. Whether I was wrestling down in Ocean County, playing football in Middlesex, or even my brother here, wrestling at Plainfield or playing at Plainfield. We always got asked about our dad. And the impact he made on this community was always big, and even on me. As I'm coaching now, and hopefully I bring the same values that he put on me and onto everyone that, was blessed to see him when he was around. Y'all okay? All right, thank y'all.
How you doing? I'm Bo's big brother Sherman. Now, my brother was always big. And to me, I was the big little brother. But sports with him, nobody ever knew. My brother couldn't play no sports till he got to high school because he was too big for Pop Warner. And then they had the football team in middle school when I played. By the time he got to middle school, they took the football team out. So to see him get in high school to play sports, it was a dream for me because he was my biggest challenge out there during basketball season. We used to have bets. Whoever scored the most points don't got to clean the room for the week. Sometimes I win, sometimes he wins. It all depends how I feel that day. But I want to say my brother Willie be happy to be nominated here like Rich, Doug, and all y'all guys. My brother love y'all, man. He loved all 3 of y'all. Y'all talk the world, especially my man behind me. He loved them to the heart. I thought he lived in Brantford more than in Somerville. But I'd like to say thank y'all all for inviting my brother to the Hall of Fame. So now we all in there now. Thank you.
Thank you, Proctors, and you were right. Bo was one big guy. Our next honoree is Ernie Seawright, and Libby, how are we going to run the projector while you're coming up here to do the honors?
We're gonna press play.
We're going to press play. Okay, Libby Kelly for Ernie Seawright.
Hi, everybody. What an honor it is to be here this evening to help present on Ernie's behalf. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it this evening, nor could his mom, nor could Coach DeBeal, so you're stuck with me. Ironically, I had the opportunity to coach track at Somerville High School, and towards the end got to do the throwing events where I got to learn about the javelin. So having the opportunity to look up Ernie's stats as well as Kozenski's stats was really exciting and thrilling and very humbling, to say the least. I'm also excited to present on Ernie's behalf because I was his classmate. We used to call him Big Ern. Obviously, he was a good thrower for that reason. Coach DeBeal also spoke very highly of him and his energy that he brought for the team. I'm going to read some kind words on behalf of Larry DeBeal. Ernie found his niche on the Somerville track and field team throwing the javelin, a field event, and wow, could he throw it. He developed his God-given talent to the very best of his ability. And through many different modalities of throwing drills, he worked extremely hard developing his skills. He became a tremendous contributor to our team by winning his dual meets and championships in the 1996 season. Not only did he contribute with the talent throwing the javelin, he contributed to the personality of our team with his infectious smile, laughter, and attitude. His strong arm and competitive spirit helped him throw a 204 and 8-inch throw in the javelin event at the New Jersey State Group 2 Championships. Kozenski was around 168, just for some reference. If my old age memory is correct, I believe the throw is still the current Somerville High School record in the javelin event. I am proud to have coached Ernie Seawright and wish I could have attended and presented the award to you personally. I love you, my man, Coach DeBeal. Some interesting stats that I pulled up in looking back at past throwing events from 1996 all the way currently to 2024. The javelin's changed a little bit in its structure and for safety, where for safety purposes, the end of the javelin now is a rubber tip on it. So that changed the trajectory and the path that the javelin took. A former graduate, Marion Easley, is also a Hall of Fame member, and he placed first at MOCs. Ernie threw further with 209 and 2 inches at a Bernardsville invite. His throw at MOCs earned him second place, and he had won the Group 2 championships. I look back all the way from 96 to 2024, and despite the changes in the javelin along the way and how they measure, 19 of those 28 years, he would have come in first place based on that mark. 2017 was an insane year where we had some Olympians through the Marabelli families. 24 of the 28 throws he could have taken second, and 27 of the 28 throws measured for first place. In comparison, he could have come in third. So that mark can still hang. And I've seen firsthand what kind of marks and what a 200-foot throw is like because I've been out in the field helping retrieve the javelins, and it is an amazing feat and pure athleticism for him to be able to handle that. Something we've touched upon with many of the athletes here is that they were involved with multiple sports, and that's something that I've always tried to instill upon my athletes so that they could contribute to programs. Kozenski, not only through javelin, he also was helping the team out in shot put and high jump. Ernie, too, helped with the team in scoring and helped with relays for the shot put with another teammate and was very successful. Not only that, Ernie contributed with the football program that was highly successful. So we accept this award on behalf of Ernie, and congratulations to everyone else, and thank you for the committee.
Good job, Libby. Thank you very much for doing that. Next honoree is James Wentz, and I believe Dave Kinney is going to do the honors and do the presentation. Dave?
The word village was already mentioned here tonight. and you are the village. We're here to honor 10 outstanding athletes, but we're also here to honor each and every one of you. Because without your support, mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, neighbors, girlfriends, you name it, had a contributing part to the success of all these athletes. To the pizza shuffling at basketball games or hot dogs in the refreshment stand, all of those things, the travel to and from practice and away meets, the late night dinners. Congratulations to you. You really are the ones that are honored tonight. So give yourself a pat on the back and thank you very much. I will not be very long because it's getting to be past my bedtime. You can all read the program, the accolades that Dr. James Frederick Wens has done in his lifetime. We all witnessed that. It's in there, and I won't ask you to read it because it's there. A world-renowned orthopedic surgeon, a pioneer in the research and development of replacement joints. Some of us and many of us here have experienced that. And Jamie was on the ground floor of that. In addition to those things, he was awarded on the staff at Johns Hopkins, and they honored his children after his passing. That's what James did as a professional. He was inducted into the National Wrestling Hall of Fame because of his past performance in the medical field. It went without question when his name came up for nomination. Automatically went in. And for basically the same reason here tonight in Somerville High School, he is being inducted for special achievement. But he has other achievements in addition to that medical profession. And I think specifically of one particular incident. Again, as I said, I'm not going to ask you to read all of what's in the program. You can do that at your leisure. But it brings to mind a dual meet, and it exemplified what Jamie had done, not only in his professional accolades, but as a team captain in 1981. He was truly a leader. He worked his butt off to perfect the things that he was to do, just as he did in the medical profession. And it was all for mankind's sake. Like his teammates, he worked hard to make them better, as well as himself. And this came down to one particular meet that I recall. It was against our arch rivals of Bridgewater Raritan. Bridgewater had a very good team that year, and we did too. And on our team, Scott Becker was a freshman, had a boyhood best friend who is now going to Bridgewater. And he was in Scott's ear every night. We're going to beat you guys. We might even shut you out. And I got to thinking about it because I knew his family personally. I said, Beck, we got to get together. Maybe this is possible. It just might happen. Well, it just so happened that the father of Jamie encouraged him to say, you're not going to lose to this guy, because he knew the father of the kid that he was about to wrestle, who was undefeated at the time. So there was some personal vendettas there. Well, come night of the match, Scott Becker goes out first to wrestle his boyhood friend and actually hammered him, beat him to a pulp. And things went on and continued on through the meet. And then it came to Jamie. He was to wrestle this kid who was undefeated. And guess what? He pounded him. Not only did we beat them 30-17 that night, They didn't bother winning or shutting us out. And when I looked across the gym at the end of that match and I saw Coach Mike Lade, who's a good friend of mine now, looked like he had just been sentenced to life in prison because he was so shocked. So basically, that's how the story goes with Jamie. He couldn't have been a better captain than he was. And I'm proud to say that his family is here tonight, and I'm going to ask them to stand because there's quite a large contingency. Would you please stand? His children, his twin sister, his mother. That's part of the village. Madeline is going to present, or I will present Madeline with the award if she would come forward. And I'm sorry.
His son's going to say something.
Okay, well, my bad.
Not long.
Glad to have you.
It's not going to be long.
I'm sure this will be good.
Thank you, sweetie.
If there was a Hall of Fame for cheerleaders, Madeline would be in. Class of 59.
Thanks, Coach Kinney. Hi, everyone. My name is James Wenz, Jr. I did not graduate in 1981. I was not alive in 1981. But on behalf of my father, our family, as well as my late grandfather, Fred Wenz, who was in the inaugural class of the Hall of Fame over 30 years ago, we'd like to thank the nomination committee for this incredible honor. As we've spent this evening recognizing outstanding individuals of the past and the present, I'd like to take a moment to just think of the students 30 years from now, 40 years from now, who will be looking at these names in the Hall of Fame. Most of these students will have no personal direct connection to the athletes we're honoring here today. But still, I believe what we're doing here is for them as much as it is for us. It's our way of reaching out to them to say, in this place, people just like you and me did, did things that were worth remembering. And so you and the things you do here in this place and this place itself, those are also worth remembering. And my family, and I know my father, would be very grateful to be a part of that message. And to echo the sentiments of Coach Kinney, I also want to honor the people who we're not sending into the future tonight, but who contributed to the achievements here. First, Coach Kinney, who spoke so eloquently and who taught my father how to stand and face life's challenges and wrestle them to the ground, so to speak. My grandmother, Madeline Wenz, who kept him very well fed, as she has kept all of her grandchildren, and taught him the persistence and work ethic to succeed on and off the mat. Next, my Aunt Lisa Sarich, his twin sister, who herself had 8 varsity letters, no small feat, and without whom my father probably would have bled out in a bathtub following a bicycle wheelie stunt gone terribly wrong, so thank you for that. And lastly, to the teachers of Somerville High, who we've mentioned here, but I want to give a special shout out to, who, from what I understand, had their hands really full with this guy. This honor is a testament to all of their mentorship, their caring, and their support. So once again, we're so proud to be a part of this evening. Congratulations to all the inductees, and thank you.
Congratulations, thank you very much. And for those of you, if you recognize the name Wentz, is his father, Freddie, was a professional baseball player, pitcher, and played for my father when he was here at Somerville. So Freddie was one of a kind, as we all know. Now we're going to have the induction for the 2 teams. And the first team is the 1955 wrestling team. And I believe, Dave, you're going to have to try and get up, and I know it's past your bedtime, but would you come up and do the honors with the team and take it from there?
Thank you, sir. I'm not going to bed yet. There really isn't a whole lot that I can say about the 55 wrestling team other than the fact, why in the hell did it take so long for them to get inducted? 1955 was a long time ago, when that team was the number 2 team in the state, not a sectional, not a group, but all groups included, and they were second by 2 points. How did it take this long? Well, I guess maybe that says something about the rest of the successful teams throughout, regardless of what sport, because as has already been mentioned, we've had championship teams regardless of what sport it was, so maybe that's why it was waylaid. On that team, there were 2 guys that were third, there was 1 guy that was second, and 1 guy that was a state champion. Unfortunately, I can't call these guys to stand to be recognized, but I want to at least read their names for those that have parted in the ways, and that were the guys who were part of that starting lineup. At 106 was Bart Senna, who recently passed, was supposed to be here tonight. At least he heard that he was going to be inducted. At 115, Bob Safar. Now, some of these names you may remember, even though they're old. 123 was Charlie Becker, was part of that team. And Scott Becker was the name that I mentioned earlier, who is also now assistant coach in our high school wrestling program. George Esposito was a third. Gus Rutledge, whose family is here tonight, was a state champion and tough as they come. Also, Walter Combat at 141. Stosh Wisniewski was a 3rd place winner. At 157 was Dr. Sam Crosby. Unfortunately, is not here tonight to be honored. He was in the state tournament all 4 years. And Jim Waller at 168, and heavyweight, who is also here, and you'll get a chance to hear from him, was Tom McInerney. Sam Crosby was definitely the leader of that group, not only in wrestling, but in all sports that he participated in. These guys, this team was an inspiration for the teams to follow in the Somerville rich history of wrestling. A couple of years after that, the wrestling team at 59 was the number 1 team in the state. Attest to the fact that these guys were the leaders in the way. In Sam Crosby's neighborhood seemed to be the melting pot for many outstanding wrestlers to come in the future. Names like Valentino, Archidiacono, Wayne Hicks, Charlie Becker, Jim Walitsky, and myself within a 2-block radius of where Sam lived. We all looked up to Sammy, and whatever he said we believed in. We followed him. And it was one hot summer night down at Park Avenue, which was the center of where we all lived. I mean, we were within 2 blocks of that place. Commonly, on a hot night, we used to sneak into the swimming pool. We weren't allowed to be there. There was no fence, but we snuck in. And I mean, the names that I just mentioned were always showing up. Well, Sammy didn't have very good eyesight. So naturally, he wasn't swimming with his glasses on. And lo and behold, all of a sudden, Sammy cries out, "The cops are coming!" What was it? It turned out being the blinking neon pizza sign up at the corner. Needless to say, we didn't get caught, but we all went home early that night. With that, I would like to bring forward, unfortunately, the last remaining individual from that team, Tom McInerney. And if I can take this, I can. And we're going to have Tom say a few words. Tom was a heavyweight. And as has been said, we always save the best for last. Tom, congratulations.
Thank you. It's really amazing when we look out over the group here tonight. That 70 years ago, we were wrestling for Somerville High School. Dave gave such a great overview of what we look like. But the team really was 13 individuals. We sent 4 to the States, and we had many people who were undefeated, including yourself. Now, when we wrestled, I weighed 190 pounds, and the average heavyweight was unlimited. So I had a few large men I had to deal with, and luckily I survived. But the team was notable in the fact that the same group of guys were on the football team that was undefeated, the 1953 team. And Sam was the quarterback, Gussie was a halfback, and I was a lonely lineman. But the school itself, and still today, there was something about Somerville that made you really want to play. And we had the whole place, all the athletics, five or six teams, and everyone did a great job, and they tried the best. And tonight it's really evident that over the years this has paid off, because as we look over 180 people, that's a lot for an outing like this, and it should be proud, everyone in this room, that here we are making it all these years. And my wife and I were trying to think of different things to say over, like anything else. But I have a little quick story. This tie I have on, Gus Rutledge wore the same tie. And I told him, Gus, where did you get the tie? And he couldn't remember. He says, it's orange and black. I said, well, where did you get it? Princeton. Their college, Princeton. I said, you're kidding me. He says, no, he says, you want one? I said, yes. So this tie is that old, almost as old as me. And the guys that are, we are the last of the Mohegans, believe me. There's 3 of us left. One is bad shape. Sam, I spoke to tonight, is not doing too well, and me. So again, it's an honor and a pleasure to be here tonight, and thank the board for finally realizing we were still alive and brought us forward. Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you. And now we're going to move forward. Can't talk in front of the speaker. Now we're going to move forward from 1955. We're going to jet ahead almost 80 years and now honor the 2018 baseball team, which I imagine there are probably a lot more of them left than the 55 wrestling team. So on that note, Chris Spano, would you come up and say a few words to help make the presentations to the baseball team?
You're welcome. Thank you very much. I just want to congratulate everyone. It's an honor to be here with the rest of the Hall of Fame inductees. I did not go to Somerville, but I've lived here since 2007, and I'm honored to be a part of such a great place. First, let me start by thanking the Somerville High School Hall of Fame Committee for recognizing the 2018 baseball team. It's an incredible honor to stand here tonight as the head coach of a group that made history for this school and this town. That season wasn't just about wins. It was about resilience. It was about showing up every day with a championship mindset. And it was about believing in each other. From the first game, we knew we had something special. Strong pitching, led by class of 2023 Hall of Fame inductee Thomas Bablis, timely hitting, and a defense that never quit, this team excelled in every part of the game. The postseason run is something I'll never forget. It came with plenty of challenges, and no matter the situation, whether we were down early, fighting late, or locked in a tight game, the guys persevered. Time and again, they found ways to respond, to battle back, and to stay composed under pressure. That's the mark of a championship team, rising to the moment when it matters the most. And when the dust settled, Somerville baseball stood as state champions for the first time in program history. The title wasn't about one play or one player. It was about a roster full of athletes all buying in to a team-first mentality. Every single player contributed. Every coach poured themselves into this team, and our families and fans gave us the support that made it all possible. To the players, you set the standard. You showed what hard work and dedication and chemistry can accomplish, to the point where the current teams no longer want to hear about the 2018 team. My son was on the team, and on a car ride home, he said, "Can you please stop talking about the 2018 team? We can't be them." I said, "Well, you should try." To the families, thank you for the sacrifices, the rides, the patience, and the encouragement. And to the Somerville community, thank you for giving us the pride of playing for something bigger than ourselves. The legacy of 2018 is simple. When a group commits to each other, when they put the team ahead of themselves, they can achieve greatness. That's what this team did. And tonight, being inducted into the Hall of Fame, we're reminded that what we accomplished will always be a part of Somerville's story. On behalf of the 2018 baseball team, thank you again for this honor. We'll never forget it. And now I would like to introduce the team. Some of the guys were not available to be here, but I'm going to call them anyway. So I'm going to call the seniors first. Andrew Edelman. Danny Belford. Preston Scott. Brett Murphy. Jordan Antonelli. Kyle Smith. We had 3 members of the senior class who could not be here, but I would like to call them as well. Wesley Ibsen, Thomas Babelis, and Ryan Kovacs. The juniors, Vincent Mealy, Joe Brown, Bobby Wortman, Joe Ciampola, Jack Anglem, and Dante Bazzuti. Devin Hack and Rich Baginski could not be here tonight. We also had 3 sophomores, Connor Wengren, Joe Tatunjan. And we had one sophomore who could not be here, Gavin Stelflug. And then we had one freshman on the team who's going to give a speech when he gets up here, Matt Maselli. Please give one last round of applause for the 2018. And then I would also like to call up two of our coaches who are here, Steve DeTrolio and John Adams. And thank you. I just want to reiterate how much of an honor it was to coach these guys. Thank you very much to everybody. And hopefully we got everybody back on track for dessert or whatever's left. So thank you very much. You guys kind of look like my students in class, so I'm gonna move along here. All right, thank you very much.
Chris, thank you and congratulations to the 2018 baseball team for all your work and for the great attendance. We appreciate all of you coming out here with yourself and some of you with your family. So on that note, this brings us to a close for the 32nd Annual Hall of Fame induction. I believe there is dessert somewhere over on this side if you're interested, if you didn't get any. And we'll call this to the conclusion, and Rodney will be out in the parking lot selling shirts. Thank you for coming. Congratulations to everybody, and please drive home safely.